a gift for you. Ta-rum-dee-dum-dum. Oops. I have a gift for you. Ta-rum-dee-dum-dum.
So, recently I saw some O-list mail asking about a simple model to teach as part of a presentation on origami and asking for ideas on that. And Gilad responded by posting a video on the Tumbler in action where you line them up and knock them over like dominoes. And that actually gave me an outstanding idea, at least I think it's outstanding, that this model could be perfect as a transformation mechanism. And what is a transformation mechanism? Well, according to page 22 in Joel Bauer's book, How to Persuade People Who Don't Want to Be Persuaded, a transformation mechanism is, and I quote, "It's a trick with a point. A mechanism puts people in a pleasure state, and that's where you want them. Off business on pleasure, it sets a receptive atmosphere. When you use a mechanism, people are more likely to lower their defenses and give you ideas and honest hearing. Mechanism is a metaphor made physical and thus made memorable and persuasive." Unquote. Joel Bauer, who wrote the book, is a mentalist and pitchman whose business it is to generate crowds for Fortune 500 companies. And he's really the very best at what he does. My God, Thea, what are you doing with the kid? Okay, you have to forgive me, or forgive Thea. Good help is so hard to find. Thea. Now you're making me dizzy. Alright. He's also a friend of mine who got into origami and saw the value of... Okay, give me back the camera, Thea. Saw the value of simple models as workable paper metaphors. And while I was into super complex origami at the time, when I met him, Joel, at his first OUSA convention, saw something relatively simple, which was Dag Farrelly's Fluttering Butterfly, folded for him to as a storygami. In the storygami being written by, I believe, Ann Bedrick. I live in a purple house, and near my house are woods. I like to go there in the springtime when the snow begins to fall. I like to go there all the way to the other side of the forest, where in the middle of the forest there's a river which runs from both north and south. Animals from one side of the forest like to go there, for they find the waters cool and refreshing. Animals from the other side of the forest, they too like to go to the river, for they also find the waters cool and refreshing. The people from the four corners of the earth like to go there just to see these magnificent creatures. Some will come by car. Others who live long distances away might travel by airplane. Those who live close by might like to travel by foot. Others may come by train, but the most enjoyable form of transportation of all is that which is made by boat. Now, if you find yourself fortunate enough to sail along the river by boat, eventually you'll come to a point in the river where it begins to narrow, until finally you and the boat will both find themselves caught in a pinch. Now, if you find yourself caught in this pinch, there's nothing to worry about, there's nothing to fear, because you're in no danger at all. So you might as well just sit back and relax, admire the beautiful landscape, the magnificent forest creatures, and the tranquility of the river. And if you sit there and look out upon the distance, you'll notice a hill. And if you get out of your boat and walk up to this hill, you'll notice that flowers will begin to push up from the earth. And when the wind blows, these flowers will begin to sway. But if you look closer, even still, not all of these things which are swaying are flowers. Some, in fact, are actually mindless fluttering butterflies. So Joel, he immediately saw the potential of that story to transform lives in deep and meaningful ways as a transformation mechanism to get across the message, any message he desired. A lot of anticipation. And so he adapted his own story for the corporate world to that model. And I remember also one day he challenged me to come up with a story on the spot, a story of my own, related to something I was familiar with, gymnastics, as a means of getting across this concept and the principle behind how the transformation mechanism works and how any model or any transformation mechanism can be adapted and applied directly to whatever it is that you want to get across. About 6 years later here, another model I've all but ignored for all of my origami folding life it suddenly has great appeal to me, and I'm seeing it with new eyes, and that's the Tumbler. So I'm kind of seeing it in the same light that Joel Bauer saw the potential and the value in Doug Farrelly's model, and the value in origami storytelling as a vehicle for transformation. So the idea I came up with that applies to my own situation is to use it as a teaching vehicle for my gymnasts. And conveniently enough, the Turumpty Tum Tum is also known as the Tumbler, so I think it fits. At Broadway Gymnastics, where I work, for the past few months, we've been having what we call the Word of the Week to help the kids kind of think about the attributes and attitudes they need in order to cultivate a productive and vibrant gymnastics experience. Sometimes giving like straight lectures on work ethic, proper nutrition, importance of conditioning, and so on. It just doesn't quite sink in the way you'd like it to sometimes. So kind of in one ear and out the other. So I think transformation mechanisms are kind of a great delivery system for stimulating the mind and putting people into that more receptive state of learning to absorb ideas and take lessons to heart. So here's my idea for a summer camp game for the teen girls at Broadway. What we're going to do is we're going to divide the girls up into teams. You then teach them how to fold the tumbler, and of course this requires concentration, listening skills, memorization, thinking, some of those ingredients that we want out of our gymnasts. After folding the model, you then explain what it is and what it does. And then for fun, and to make it easier to tell which side should be at the top and which at the bottom, I would add googly sticker eyes, or possibly have the kids draw them on. And yeah, you know, it sort of dumbs down the model by removing the brain stimulation of the kids and adults actually having to think and understand which side of the model is top heavy and why that matters, and so on. But I think the benefit of that is that so long as the kids understand why it moves the way it does, drawing eyes or having some other visual means of instantaneous recognition of top and bottom, should just enhance the momentum of the occasion and not get saddled with just the confusion of not knowing which is top and bottom. I think the kids can also have fun drawing the rest of the face on the model. You give the teams maybe, say, 5 minutes to make as many of these models as they can. You can maybe give each of the teams a specific color to represent their team. Then after the 5 minutes of mass folding production, the teams then have to kind of work together to figure out how to space the tumblers to make as many of them fall down as possible. As a transformation mechanism, it can be a lesson on time management, conditioning, parental support, coach, visualization, perseverance, role models, all those concepts and people in your lives who come together to lead you toward the path of success. Probably even have the kids write their own choice words on the models, whatever words they deem important and positive to achieving knocking down that final domino.
All right. Yay! Yay! I'm so excited. We made it.
So if nothing else, this should be a lot of fun.
First I went to gym today. Trumpty-dum-dum, trumpty-dum-dum. And then I went to bars, trumpty-dum-dum, trumpty-dum-dum. And then I went with my ankle, trumpty-dum-dum. Then I saw Kaylee at the pet store, trumpty-dum-dum, trumpty-dum-dum. Am I saying trumpty-dum-dum right? And then we went to Origami, trumpty-dum-dum. And then we went to my house where we are right now, trumpty-dum-dum. And now we are here, trumpty-dum-dum.
Chard.
Then we will eat some chard, trumpty-dum-dum.
You're gonna squeeze iron.
That my mom went to the that my mom picked out of the garden, trumpty-dum-dum. And then we will be going to Iron Man 2, trumpty-dum-dum. Hey, that rhymed. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Trumpty-dum-dum, trumpty-dum-dum.
There's so much creative to that.
There is my Tumpty Tum going right now.
Cool.
It is.
Oops, sorry about that.
Nice try.
I have a present for you, Trumpty Tum Tum, Trumpty Tum Tum. I hope it tumbles for you, Trumpty Tum Tum, Trumpty Tum Tum.